They call it the Monster Mile here at Dover International Speedway. 160 laps, 160 miles, where over 20 drivers will take their swing at the Monster here in Dover, Delaware. The RealSimRacing.com Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking will make its way in session number 2 to Dover International Speedway, where each of these guys hoping that the Monster doesn't claim them before the race is over. You're watching it here live on LSRTV. Good evening, race fans. Joe Cortez, Jacob Nye in the booth for you. Good to be back with Real Sim Racing here on LSRTV. The Full Throttle Cup Series just starting to heat up, and we're only 11 races in, Jake. This should make for some very entertaining driving among all the drivers out here tonight.
Oh, you're telling me, Joe. I'm looking forward to tonight. If it's anything like the actual Cup race and nationwide race where this weekend down in Dover, we're going to see a lot of tight action, a lot of loosey-goosey cars. Let's see if these guys have a handful and who has the handle in their car to make this run work great off the exits of 2 and 4 today.
These guys might be a little bit rusty coming off the Memorial Day break just a week ago. They did not race 1 week ago. They raced 2 weeks ago at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll get those results in just a moment. But tonight, it's all about Dover International Speedway. They call this place the Monster Mile for a reason. Not only is it too tough to tame, this track has a funny way of grabbing you when you least expect it. And you said it right there, Jacob, right off 2 and 4. That's where they grab you. That's where they get you. And if your car just isn't right off of 2 or off of 4, you can find the Monster will grab you, and here at Dover, the turn chooses you.
Yeah, I think Miles is gonna a good feast here tonight. Not because the drivers are bad, but that's just what he does. I'll be interested to see the restarts here. I think that's going to be the most crucial part. This opening start, I think, is going to set the tempo really quick. If they can make it through 1 and 2 fairly good, I think it's going to be a problem till late in the run when the fuel burns off and these cars get a little looser. That might be when we see problems, but if they can make it through, I think, these first 2-3 laps, we're going to see a pretty good clean and green race, I think.
When we last went racing with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, it was Scott Simley finishing in front at Charlotte 2 weeks ago. Eric Rundy's finishing second, Kyle Tarasca third, John Abbott fourth, Rhett McBride finishing out your top 5, Steve Gottschalk, Jonathan Cadell, Brandon Peterson, E.J. O'Rourke, and Glenn Campbell, your top 10. That was a 1.5 mile track, though. That was a lot faster track than you see here at Dover, and I've got a feeling some of those names, unless they found something to work here at Dover, you might not see them necessarily up front all night tonight.
No, but that's the joys of Real Sim Racing. They have a multitude of tracks and a multitude of ability for these guys. Somebody who's good at these short tracks or at a medium tracks, the 1 mile and smaller, can drive good. Maybe there's some guys who just know how to drive concrete. You know, iRacing's done an amazing job making these tracks very realistic, and these guys have mastered it. And I'll be curious to see how good they do. Looking at the qualifying times, they're only half a second apart from first to last, so there is no doubt that everyone is close to have a good race here tonight.
No doubt in my mind whatsoever that these guys are getting ready to get excited to go racing here at Dover International Speedway. 160 laps, 160 miles, and the point standings as they sit right now, very fragile, especially for the guys up front. Eric Brundys comes into this race 15 points over Rhett McBride for first. Thomas George, 54 points behind. Jonathan Cadell, 4th in points. Steve Gottschalk, 5th in points. Brandon Peterson, Scott Simley, Scott Stenzel, Nathan Little, and Kevin Linden rounding out your top 10 in points. So look at that top group. The first and second, only separated by 15 points. Thomas George, Jonathan Cadell, 3rd and 4th, separated by, what, 20-something, almost 30 points? And then Steve Gottschalk, Brandon Peterson, tied for 5th right now. This is going to be a very entertaining points battle leading all the way up to the chase in just a few weeks.
That just makes it a point of crucial racing, and I could see a couple of those guys maybe making a move, you know, trying to maybe nudge that guy out of the way, because it is Dover. This isn't Daytona or Talladega where you can follow each other. I see the moves coming. I see maybe some pushing, you know, the old, not the Bristol stomp because we're in Dover, but like Gordon and Rusty Wallace used to do back in the day, a little bump and run to those guys to get those crucial points, because everyone wants that points lead.
Everyone wants that points lead, especially as we get ready to wrap up session number 2 here in the Full Throttle Cup Series, mirroring the actual Cup Series stops. They will go next week to the Tricky Triangle in Pocono, followed by the 2-mile D-Oval in Michigan, followed by the 1.5 miles at Kentucky, before they round out segment number 2, and then only have a handful more laps, a handful more races before they finish session 3. And at this point counts. Every point counts, and you're now in a position where you can't afford to have a bad run. You either run hard or you don't run at all.
Yeah, that's I'm interested to see here what goes on. Like you said, they're going to go to the Tricky Triangle next week, and they're going to go back to the cookie cutter tracks. And tonight might set a big tone. Who's going to be the guy to beat? I'm excited. I've not actually got to sit back and watch real sim racing race yet this year, so not only do I get to watch it, I get to call it with you tonight, Joe, so we're going to have some fun up here.
We're definitely going to have some fun. That is definitely one way to put it. Your leaders have lined up. Let's go ahead and take you down to tonight's qualifying order presented by Gary Mercer Trucking. Justin Wilson turning in the fastest time in qualifying. He will start position number 1 in the number 58, qual time of 22.245 seconds. On the outside of him, John Hickman Jr., the 60, starts second.
Starting in third there is Eric Brundies in the 94 car, and in fourth place on the outside row you have Dan Murray in the 55.
Adam Benefield will start on the inside of row number 3 in the 85. On the outside of him, one of your top 10 in points, Rep McBride.
And in row 4 we have Steve Botchak. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. And on the outside we have Brian Harvey there.
On the inside of row number 5, Jonathan Goodell starts number 9 number 11 in position number 9. Outside of him, the 46 of Kyle Taraska starts 10th.
And followed in closely behind in row 6 is Scott Stencil on the inside, and Eric Arnold in 12th there in the 31 car.
Brennan Mercer, the number 29, starts position number 13. On the outside of him, 2 weeks ago, winner at Charlotte, Scott Smiley, the 68, starts 14th.
Then we have the Menard lookalike Guy Snyder in the inside of row 8. On the outside, Doug Manning in number 51 mobile.
Row number 9 belongs to the 8 of Michael Gray. On the outside of him, the 03 of Nathan Bowers as they roll off for their first parade lap.
And then rounding out the field there, we have Jose Malvern, EJ Orberg, and Jason Lester, Glenn Campbell. And it looks like there might be 1 or 2 guys who didn't even throw down sometimes who are starting to back, maybe the number 1 of Thomas George.
Thomas George, CJ LeVere, Michael Woolley, Kevin Linden, Nathan Little, Ryan Vaughn have turned in their names to start tonight. We'll see how many of them actually show up on the grid as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. It looks like Michael Woolley in the 13 will be the last driver to start on this field tonight. So the 13 of Michael Woolley, the MW production machine, starting position number 13 or 25. He starts shotgun on this field. It's only a mile long, but it's going to be the longest mile, especially if you're starting from the back. Pace car will ease its way down pit road this time by, leaves the field in the hands of Justin Wilson, John Hickman Jr. as they wait for the green silk to fly. Green Hickey, the air and the race has begun. 160 laps around the Monster Mile begins with Justin Wilson taking away the lead. Hickman Jr. gets a jump as well. Eric Brundies third, and so far not a whole lot of side-by-side battle. Closest battle you're seeing right now on the field is between the 66 of Brian Harvey and the 31 of Eric Arnold. He's going to fall back in line, but not before he picks up a lot of position on Kyle Taraska, Brennan Mercer, Guy Snyder. Now side by side is a 68 and 8 machine as a Michael Gray on the outside, Scott Simley on the inside.
Yeah, going back there, it looks like the 31's a little high there on entering into turn 1. Coming off turn 2, the 46 of Kyle Taraska is going to get a great run there. Going into turn 3, he just might get that position from.
Eric Arnold is a man on a mission right now on that outside lane. He started this race 13th. He already picked up 2 positions last time around. He will lose one of them, but what a run he's got going so far out here tonight. Kyle Taraska, the 46 machine, he picked up that position over the U.S. Navy machine of Eric Arnold back there, and Kyle Taraska slowly looking to inchworm his way up front. This racetrack, it is a shorter one, but don't let that fool you. This is going to be a race that is dominated by patience, and you're already seeing a lot of that displayed by each of these drivers out here tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking here in the back, Joe. The number 1, Thomas George, he's moving in a hurry. He didn't even put a lap down. He's already up. He just took a 15th away from Jose Malbrin. And that number 1 tracker Chevy is on a tear. He's going to got to be here, I think, too long from now.
Thomas George now officially in position number 15 as he continues to tear his way through the field, but pit strategy might be his downfall. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, up front, Justin Wilson, the class of the field right now. He is taking away the run, and he is now going to be almost a full second over the rest of the competition. 8/10 that last time by. One more lap, and he should be a full second over John Hickman Jr., Eric Brundles and company, as everybody else running single file through the field. Hey, caution flag out for the first time tonight as soon as we say that, and I'm not exactly sure where that came from. We did see a little bit of smoke on the track, so it might either be a blown engine or maybe maybe the monster has fed on his first victim of the night.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. I'm looking. I believe Michael Gray in the 8 car might have got loose right before he did. Scott Stencil in the yellow car, he snapped really loose, and it looked like a host of other cars did. Maybe Miles is starting to reach out early already because it looked like a few of them did, but the 8 car of Michael Gray really got loose there, and I think that might have been the reason for the caution there.
So you watch a replay right now coming off of turn number 4. This is exactly what you predicted in the pre-race there, Jacob. As soon as he comes off position off the turn number 4 with those 2 cars in front of him, he just snaps it loose, makes contact with the inner safer barrier there, and bounces it right off the wall into the lane of traffic, and the officials erring on the side of caution there, and that will bring out our first caution flag as everybody now down to the attention of their pit crews on pit road, and that parade will be led by Dan Murray in the 55.
Yeah, we had just a couple guys stay out. It looks like Justin Wilson, John Higman, Eric Brundles, Guy Snyder, Ryan Vaughn, and maybe Dan Murray actually stayed out. So interesting strategy by them. I'm not surprised by Justin staying out. His car is a rocket ship. But the rest of these guys be interested in 2 or 4 tires.
Lots of 4-tire pit stops out here, as it will be the 50 coming off 55. I should say the big game machine coming off first of that group. Adam Benefield second, Steve Gottschalk third, Jonathan Goodell fourth, Scott Stenzel rounding out your top 5. Lots of guys coming in for 4 tires early, and I've got a feeling that might be a little bit of a strategy move more than anything else, just to put on a different pit strategy, a different pit sequence than the leaders who did not pit out there. So tires maybe not playing a huge deal of difference right this moment, but these guys doing everything they can, taking any advantage they can, and trying whatever they can do to tame the monster tonight.
Definitely. I mean, I know if I was in the race, I would have took 4 tires. It looks like CJ LeVere might have missed his pit entry there. That's a shame. He was up in 7th there in that ACSO. Trying to learn these guys' sponsors. Nice looking paint scheme though. He had it up front there and missed his pit stops, and now he has to go back into pit road and get those 4 tires of fuel and go to the back of the pack.
CJ LeVere, I believe he entered a closed pit out there, and that might hurt. That's going to hurt him a little bit out there, as he's going to have to take a penalty for that one. He'll have to send dart at the end of the longest line. Michael Gray also getting credited with the incident, so he's going to have to start at the end of the longest line as well. That being said, all the cars that started tonight's race, all 28 of them, they will continue to run here at Dover International Speedway, so the monster has not fed just yet. But I've got a feeling he is getting hungry as we get ready to turn some laps here at Dover International Speedway. Justin Wilson, John Higman Jr. remain on the front row. Eric Grundy's in third. Guy Snyder, the Menards machine, now position number 4. Ryan Vaughn, the top 5. Dan Murray, Adam Benefield, Steve Gottschalk, Jonathan Goodell, and Scott Stenzel running out your top 10. Pace car makes a hard left turn down to pit road, and Justin Wilson will have the pleasure of restarting this field for the 2nd time tonight as a green silk flies in the air. Justin Wilson hits the throttle, and for him once again in first as he gets the jump on the rest of the field. Now battle for third almost as we got some problems in the field. Problems in the field. 55, 92, lots of cars involved.
You had to say Miles didn't get any food yet, didn't you, Joe? It looks like everyone there just got involved in that.
Looks like a checkup right in front of the 55 machine of Dan Murray. I believe that's going to be the 28 machine that just didn't get up to speed. That's Ryan Vaughn, and that's going to cause a major chain reaction behind the 55. 28 goes into the wall. The 2 gets involved. The 42, the 91 involved. The 53 gets backwards. The 92 Advocate gets backwards. So, I apologize. I think I might have jinxed the field out there as Miles has roared in a big way here at Dover International Speedway. Michael Gray, who got caught in the first incident, heavy black smoke pouring out of his number 8 machine. That could be his night.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm looking here, and Ryan Vaughn's in car camera. He was on the inside line. I think he was a first gear restart there. Missed the start and went to punch it to catch back up and to catch up all his ground that he lost on the restart. And he broke loose, went onto the outside, grabbed a hold of it, and it bottlenecked the entire field up behind. That's a shame. It's not where he, missed the gear. He just hit the gas pedal. It looks like a little too hard.
Second caution flag out here at Dover International Speedway. Let's step away from the microphones and take our first commercial break of the evening. Let's give them a little bit of time to sort it all out here at the Monster Mile. Justin Wilson in charge of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking Race at Dover. Can he hold on? We'll find out when we return. You're watching it live on LSRTV. Lights about to go off here at Dover International Speedway as they double them up for the 160 here in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking. Justin Wilson, John Higman Jr. still on the front row. Eric Brundy's, Guy Snyder right behind him. Adam Benefiel, Jonathan Cadell, Eric Arnold, Tal Taraska, Michael Woolley now in the top 10. And Brendan Mercer rounding out your top 10. A couple retirees during the break include Doug Manning. He's going to be out for the night. Michael Gray will be out for the night. Rick McBride and Ryan Vaughn as well are going to be credited at least a couple laps down as they are in their pit stalls right now doing everything they can to get these cars back in race condition. And we'll have to keep an eye on that, especially Rhett McBride, as he did come in here only 15 points behind Eric Brundy's for the points lead in the Full Throttle Cup Series, one of the many leagues that Real Sim Racing runs every week here on LSR TV in the iRacing sim. They are getting ready to pull off of the racing surface. It will be Justin Wilson's field one more time as we restart them for the third time tonight here at Dover International Speedway. Justin Wilson, John Higman, he's a silk, and he is gone. Justin Wilson once again gets the jump on the field. We've got a battle for second brewing as John Higman Jr. can't hold off the 94 of Eric Brundys and almost gets the nose cut off. Guy Snyder cutting off Adam Benefield to get back to the racing surface. Side by side now, the 46 and 31 doing battle.
Yeah, I'm watching Kyle Tarowska and Eric Arnold. They've been going at it since the green flag, I want to say, Joe. They're just driving together. They're making their way through the field, though. Very nice here. Seems like everyone's single filing out. Well, as soon as I say that, they go too wide in front of them.
27.85, now too wide as the 85 of Adam Benefield gets around the 27 of Guy Snyder side by side. Guy Snyder forced to drop back now into turns 3 and 4. Adam Benefield finds a way, and he is able to get around him. Score Benefield now in position number 4. John Higman, Eric Brundys, they're still running second and third, but the man to beat, Justin Wilson, nowhere to be found. Almost a half second over John Higman Jr. and counting. I don't know what they put in that car, but that car is looking very strong tonight.
Yeah, I'm listening to the crew chief talking to him, just saying, take it easy, take it easy. And on the onboard, you can hear he's just letting off really quick, and then he's on it instantly. There is no hesitation for him, and that car is driving like a rail right now.
Too wide now around the 29 machine. That 29 belongs to Brennan Mercer. He's having a hard time on the track right now, trying to keep that 29 in line. He was scored 10th last time around, right now running 11th behind the 44 of Glenn Campbell. And then there's last week's winner, Scott Simley, kind of in the hunt right now, waiting to see if the 29 is going to make another mistake on the field and see if he can get around that 68, or check that, get around that 29 of Brennan Mercer with ease. Back up front through this field, no major changes except for the fact that Guy Snyder lost a lot of position 2 laps to go, and he overdrove it, snapped it on the front stretch. He went from 5th to 8th in a hurry. Asking him that time around was the 13 of Michael Woolley.
Yeah, Guy Snyder just, it sounds like we have a caution now, Joe.
Third caution of the evening, and it will involve the 92 of Jason Lester, the Advocare machine, and behind him, the 42 of Scott Stenzel. What happened is the 92 hooked it on the apron coming out of turn number 4, ultimately forced to check up. The 42 makes inadvertent contact with the 92, and the 92 will nose it hard, almost into the front wall, able to save it. Just a little bit of rear end damage on the 92 Ford Advocare Ford of Jason Lester. Third caution out for the evening, and this is about what we expected here at Dover. A lot of sprints and a lot of yellow flags.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was hoping that once they singled out, guys could dial in their cars. I know anytime I race on the server here, you log lots and lots of practice laps, and these guys, I guarantee you, have been throwing those laps down. But when it comes race time, that notebook can go out the door. When the pressure of just making a move comes in, mistakes happen, and it's a hard thing to swallow when you make the mistake. Right now, Justin Wilson hasn't been making mistakes, and the rest of the field is having a hard time trying to keep up with him. But pit strategy could change everything here by the end of the race for that.
Justin Wilson will pull onto his front stall here on pit road. It will be at least 2 Goodyear Eagle tires and a full tank of virtual Sunoco Racing full fuel for the 58. Now the left sides go up. It'll be a 4-tire stop for Justin Wilson. Your leader gives up the lead, but he will come in for 4 brand new tires and a full tank of fuel. John Higman Jr. out immediately behind him. Eric Brundys, Adam Benefield will come out in position number 4. Kyle Tarowska coming off pit road as well. Jonathan Cadell, Eric Arnold, Guy Snyder, Glenn Campbell, Brennan Mercer, Scott Simley, all coming off the pit road from the attention of their crews as well. Brian Harvey, Jose Malbrand, Nathan Little coming out as well, and a host of other drivers coming out of pit road with the service from their cars. New leader under the caution flag, and it should be the number 1 of Thomas George. No, check that. Thomas George is 3 laps down,
yeah,
so it looks like it'll be, I want to say the 4 of CJ LeVere might inherit the lead. No, he's going to come down pit road.
I think Justin's going to keep it. But, yeah, the number one had an electrical issue. I had to go behind the wall quick, and I think his pit crew fixed it up pretty good. He'll just stay out here, try to get the wave around, and be 2 laps down, and pray for more cautions, maybe a couple of lucky dogs, and get back into it, because I think he has a car capable, if he gets the fresh air, to catch Justin.
Justin Wilson will retain the lead after that caution flag pit stop, the third caution flag of the night here at 160 in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, and he's got to be just as plowed as punch as how that number 58 car is running right now. Flawless so far through 23 laps, but it is a very long race. We're not even a quarter of the way through yet. We still got plenty of racing to go here at Dover, and as we have more caution flags, as we have more rubbing and racing out here, that field's going to thin out in a hurry. So far, Doug Manning, the only official retiree on the field. I check it back, actually, the 8 of Michael Gray. No, he's back out in the field as well, so only one official retiree. That's Doug Manning in the 51 right now. Other than that, 27 cars still remain on the racing surface tonight, which means that it's still going to be crowded. But as we run through this race, as we run through everything that goes on out here, I've got a feeling that crowd is going to be thinned out sooner rather than later.
And Joe, I was going through here through the running order just to see, who's coming and going. Hands out to our pat in the back. Let's give it to Glenn Campbell. He started 22nd in tonight's race. He's already up to 9th place. And I don't think there's any scratches on that car, other than maybe a little donut from a bump and run. But that Trans Service 44 is in pretty good condition, and he's up to 9th place already. That's a heck of a run so far tonight with all the bad things that have happened.
Lights are off as the cars go down the back straightaway. Justin Wilson, John Hickman Jr. first and second. Eric Brundys, Adam Benefield third and fourth. Kyle Taraska, Jonathan Cadell, Eric Arnold, Guy Snyder, Glenn Campbell, and Brendan Mercer rounding out your top 10 as Justin Wilson has not relinquished his lead over 24 laps, even with a pit stop. Can Justin Wilson continue to hold on to the lead? We'll find out here as the pace car gets ready to make its way down pit road, down to the safety of pit road. It makes the left-hand turn, and now Justin Wilson, John Hickman left to restart this field for the 4th time tonight. Justin Wilson hits the accelerator hard. He is back in control here at the Monster Mile at Dover. Justin Wilson, John Hickman Jr. first and second. Eric Brundys now third. Adam Benefield fourth. And a side-by-side battle for 5th as Jonathan Cadell trying to fight for his position with Kyle Taraska on the inside. 11 makes contact with the wall. Count Kyle Taraska the top 5.
The way he is running away with this Wilson, that is, Joe, it's sickening how good he can run. Just watching, though, he has a line that nobody else is running right now, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone can catch on to it. The 11, he looks like he's recouping pretty well. Going to stick in 6th there and let it calm down here for a minute.
He makes contact with the wall again, coming off of turn number 2. So Cadell trying to overdrive that car a little bit, but that's flattened side may hurt up a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye on him and see how he does here at Dover as we continue to run on lap number 27. Justin Wilson in the lead, John Hickman second, Eric Brundys third, Adam Benefield fourth, Kyle Taraska rounding out your top 5. And now battle around the number 44 machine of Glenn Campbell. The Rhinestone Cowboy has to fight off Brendan Mercer and Guy Snyder, who were side by side just a moment ago looking for position. Campbell holds on. He will stay in the top 10.
Yeah, that was a power move by Glenn Campbell. The 27 got a little high, and he went under him, passed him clear, and Brendan Mercer just followed suit and took it. And it looks like that Rowdy Bush paint scheme. I'm sorry, he's not Rowdy. That's the Outlaw, the number 41. He's going to hunt down now Menards, the Menard 27 here, see if he can catch him and get that position in the elusive top 10.
Top 10 starting to break away from each other. Justin Wilson finally finding the win in the sails. He's going to start breaking away now from John Hickman and Adam Benefield. Eric Brundys not willing to give up that group so fast. Kyle Taraska in the hunt as well. And now looking through the field, top 10 starting to be solidified. The Outlaw now might be under a little bit of fire here. The 41 of Nathan Little under fire from the 66 of Brian Harvey. And Brian Harvey will hardly take away position from the 41 of Nathan Little. So Harvey, counting him now position number 11, Nathan Little 12. And they've continued to fight side by side behind him. The 68 is Scott Simley and the 53 machine of Jose Malbrand. They're going to battle side by side. Advantage Malbrand going into 1 and 2.
Business is put up all of a sudden. We're 2 by 2 by 2 from like 6th on back. I think these guys need to get the memo. There's 160 laps. It's only lap 31. I mean, you got to make some ground, but we don't need to be going 2 and 3 wide this early.
Kyle Taraska trying to make his name known again as he's going to get under the 60 of John Higman Jr. Higman already lost 2 positions to the 85 and the 94, and Kyle Taraska is trying to make it 3 as they continue to run the single file into turns 3 and 4. Higman solidifies himself, stabilizes himself, but Kyle Taraska, he's in the hunt and he is hungry. Taraska wants to get up front and start leading this this pack around. Adam Benefield, Eric Grundy, they'll have none of that though as we continue running on lap 33.
Yeah, I went back, Joe, to look at Higman, what happened to him. And remember I said Wilson is driving a special line. Well, Higman, it looked like he tried to do it. Wilson's diamond in these turns. He's entering very low, diamonding up in the middle of the turn, exiting nice and low, and it's working. And Higman tried to do it really hard, overdrove the turn by a lot. And when he went to catch it, already Benefiel and Brundys went right underneath him, took him out in 2 turns and passed him. And now it just looks like he's just trying to recoup. I almost wonder if he was holding up those 2. We'll see if they can catch Wilson here and give him a run for the lead here. Only 40 laps into the race, well, 36 laps into the race.
Back in position, number 8, the 29 of Brennan Mercer gets around the 31 of Eric Arnold. Eric Arnold starting to fade away on the field here. He just lost 2 positions in 2 laps and caution back on the field. Once again, our 4th caution flag of the night involves the 42 machine. That 42 belongs to Scott Stenzel, and I believe the 48 might have got a piece of that one as well. Heavy black smoke coming out of the 42 machine, and actually it starts up in front of him with the 13, I believe.
Oh yeah, 13 got really tight off of 4, and or loose, I should say. And when he went to straighten it out, drove straight into the outside wall, bounced back across the track, and that was a roadblock.
It looks like he almost made contact with that number 10 machine. That belongs to E.J. O'Rourke out there, so O'Rourke might have contributed to it, getting into the 13 machine. To Michael Woolley. Michael Woolley just goes straight in front of the path of the 42. The 42 then, in a chain reaction, makes contact with the 92 of Jason Lester, who's already been involved in an incident tonight. 42 goes sailing, careening, snows first into the wall near the safer barrier of turns 1 and 2. Just misses the safer barrier, though, which is not safe for that 42 car. Scott Stenzel, heavy smoke pouring out of it, and that could be his night. Pit road picking up leaders all down on pit road.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's going to probably go here. 4 tires and fuel. They had a pretty good run there. They got about 20-25 green flag laps there. And nobody's there yet. I think some adjustments there maybe to loosen some cars up, as much so you don't want to loosen your car here at Dover. Just to make those cars drive better through the center of the turn and to be able to rotate. Just might need to do that. But Wilson off pit road, really solid there in the lead. He has a good 10 car length lead over the second place car just coming off pit road. That seems to be the story of the night.
Justin Wilson's dominance in pit road continues to be impressive as he's got now as he got 4 tires and fuel and he got back out on pit road. Adam Benefield currently being scored second, should be Eric Grundy's third, John Higman Jr. fourth, Kyle Taraska rounding out your top 5. We'll see the order that they came out when we come back. Justin Wilson continues to lead, has led all 37 laps so far. Can he hold on to lap 160? We will find out when we return with Real Sim Racing's Full Throttle Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking live on LSRTV. Caution back out on the track. We apologize for the technical difficulties we experienced just a moment ago here on LSRTV. For those of us just joining us, we had another caution flag. Well, we were we were involved within our technical difficulties. We're back on the air now, but E.J. O'Rourke was no longer on the track. He ended up getting loose coming out of turn number 3 and 4, ended up putting his number 10 Gary Mercer trekking machine straight into the wall, and ultimately ended up wrecking his car out, and he is done for the night. He's pulled him behind the garage, and he will be the second retiree. So Miles has spoken out one more time there, Jacob, and it sounds like he is not pleased with what he's been seeing so far.
No, it's man. I know there's a reason why they call this track the Monster Mile, and a lot of people underestimate the power of what Miles does here. Well, just watch this race. Watch any race at this track. This is why it's one of the hardest tracks in the Sprint Cup Series to drive, because at any point, anything can happen to you.
Well, at every point now we've seen, at every opportunity, something has happened. I believe this is our 5th caution flag of the evening out here tonight, and so far it's just been hard racing, tough racing, and overestimated turns, over driving them off of turn 2, off of turn number 4, and that's causing a majority of these incidents you're seeing here tonight at Dover International Speedway. So these guys, I don't think it's a lack of talent. I think it's exactly what you said, just hard racing, tough racing, and trying to figure out how exactly they can tame the Monster Mile here.
And the worst part about it is you have one guy who has it figured out, and anyone who's a rational competitor is trying to go after him. So they're driving the car a little harder, they're trying different things, and unfortunately for some of the guys, it's not working. One driver has it figured out. He's pulling away every restart, leading every lap. Justin Wilson, for anyone who's just tuning in, is who we're talking about. It adds to the element of what this track is.
This track has a mystique about it all to itself, and if Justin Wilson can go pole to pole out here, he might have a mystique to himself as well out there, as he'll be one of the few men who've been able to tame this perfect mile here at Dover, and being able to hold the claim, the title of taming the toughest track on the entire circuit. Justin Wilson will restart position number 1, has led all 44 laps so far, has no interest in relinquishing it. John Hickman Jr. still second. Adam Benefiel, Eric Brundles, Kyle Tarasca, your top 5. Jonathan Cadell, Guy Snyder, Nathan Little, CJ LaFair, Steve Gottschalk, your top 10, and a whole host of drivers still running behind him, trying to get up front and trying to take away the lead. 21 drivers remain on the lead lap. 2 retirees we know of, 2 retirees in total: Michael Gray, Doug Manning, and now E.J. O'Rourke retiring as well. So making 3 retirees on the field as Justin Wilson, John Hickman get ready to do battle one more time. Green flag about to fly. Justin Wilson hits the hammer again, and no surprises whatsoever. He is back in the lead, but here comes John Hickman, his teammate, trying to take away the lead maybe, or just under fire for second as they go through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, we got a new guy up front here trying to fight. And Adam Benefiel, he earlier I thought had a pretty good car. Now he's got that fresh air right behind a 58. I think he can, well, dyslexic, 85, 58, it might work.
We're being told one of the drivers might be getting a black flag here in just a moment. We'll have to catch up on exactly what that means here as they figure it out. But right now up front, Justin Wilson remains. Adam Benefiel giving him the closest run for his money so far. Only 0.2 of a second behind him. That's about a car length and a half in these Gen 6 cars that they're running out there. Justin Wilson holding off the 85 of Adam Benefiel, though. John Hickman Sr., John Hickman Jr., I should say, for the first time dropping from second to third. Eric Brundle still squarely in the top 5, as well as Kyle Tarasca, and your top 5 are now starting to break away. Adam Benefiel must have made some adjustments to that number 85 Toyota out there, because look where he's at. He's now the closest to your leader, Justin Wilson, we have seen a driver get all evening.
Yeah, and this is the point where Justin will prove if he has the best car, because can he keep his composure with that guy on his rear bumper right now? Adam's there. There is no doubt he's there. Coming off of, it seems like Adam's got him in 1 and 2, but on 3 and 4, it's Justin's track right now. So one of these guys is going to have to make a mistake to make a difference, I think.
One of these guys have to make a big mistake, and so far Justin Wilson shows no sign of making that mistake. Flawless through 49 circuits here at Dover, and it looks like we are getting ready to have ourselves a nice little green flag run here on the field. Top 5 starting to break away. It's going to be Jonathan Cadell, the number 11 Toyota, in 6th. Guy Snyder 7th, and look who's now joined the party, CJ LeVere, the number 4 machine. He's running position number 8, almost took away 7th from Guy Snyder in that 27 machine. And now the 4, CJ LeVere, he continues to hunt out there. He continues to try to get his move going, but can't make it work so far. He's going to duck high, duck low. Now LeVere on the apron, trying to make it work. LeVere in trouble, though, as he wiggles it off of turn number 4. He's now going to be under fire from the 41 of Nathan Little, the outlaw, trying to make a big showing, and Nathan Little passes the 4 of CJ LeVere with no problem. Coming along for the ride will be the 68 of Scott Simley.
Yeah, CJ is really loose. I'm watching him right now, and he was wiggling through the turn there. He's lucky he saved it, and he got lost 2 spots, but this is Dover. Just ride it out right now. Get the temperatures back to where they need to be, and gain that track position back. If he has that good of a car, it won't be too hard to pass him.
Meanwhile, back up front, a battle for the lead is brewing. We've got a problem in 3. More trouble in 3 out there involving, looks like the 53, the 31 of Eric Arnold involved in that one. Heavy smoke pouring out of both of those cars, and I believe only 2 cars are going to be involved in that one. Jose Malbrand, Eric Arnold, both involved in that incident. Both have heavy front end damage. That could be the end of their night.
Yeah, that's a shame. They were racing side by side. Jose had the inside line there, and Eric was on the outside trying to give him the room. Well, he gave a little too much room to him and not enough room to himself. Bounced it off the outside retaining wall, came back down off the wall, and when that happened, they kind of both just drove straight to the inside of turn, yeah, not even at a turn, straight away. What am I thinking? That's a shame. They both had a very good run and going, and Justin's going to be glad to see that caution because Adam was on him and I think ready to make a move there.
Hard break for both the 31 and the 53. Eric Arnold running out of room in his U.S. Navy Ford Fusion out there, going into the 53 of Jose Malbrand in that Jeff Gordon-inspired AARP Drive to End Hunger machine. Both those guys nose first into the wall out there, and I think the luckiest guy out there has to be the 55 of Dan Murray. Laura, I don't know if we can get a replay from his dashboard, but the 55 takes incredible lengths to avoid both those drivers sitting right in the middle of the track, and he is going to get around them and get back away. Meanwhile, back on pit road, Adam Benefield takes away the lead from Justin Wilson. Benefield off pit road first, Wilson second, and that could be our first lead change of the night.
And Brennan Mercer, I believe, even stayed out, so that's going to be, he's going to fall all the way to 3rd.
Brendan Mercer did stay out in that number 29 machine. He is currently being scored as your leader, and he is going to be the first lead change of the night, though I've got a feeling Brendan Mercer might end up coming down pit road here after getting the bonus points for leading the lap. Yes, he does. Brendan Mercer will now come to the attention of his crew, looking for 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles and 2 cans of that Sunoco Virtual Racing Fuel. So that will relinquish the lead to Adam Benefield, the guy who may have figured out this track out here. Justin Wilson will be in second for the first restart, his first restart of the evening. John Hickman Jr. now 3rd, Kyle Jaraska 4th, and it looks like it's going to be Jonathan Cadell will be scored 5th when we cycle back through.
The one thing I've noticed so far tonight, too, a lot of the Cup guys bring it up in the interviews when they talk about these tracks. Dover is considered a self-cleaning track, and short of the bad restart, every wreck has gone towards the inside, if you've noticed. So the safe place to be, I think, is next to the wall, but how close do you really want to get to these walls? Because off of 2 and 4, especially 2, there's a bump coming under that tunnel. You exit it wrong, you're smacking that wall, and you're going both walls, and you're ending your day in a hurry. But it's a self-cleaning track, so, like you said, the 55 made a great move to clean that wreck. He knew fairly where they were going to go, and he just made that correct decision at the right time.
Back up front, the 8 of Michael Gray is tailgating the iRacing First Racing Ford Mustang pace car. He is waiting for the lights to go off to get the wave around and get out of the way. You got to give a lot of credit to Michael Gray. He was involved in an incident earlier. We thought his night might have been over. They found a way to get that number 8 back on the lap and back in minimum speed. They keep running out there. So Michael Gray, as long as he's got a car underneath him, he's going to try to make it work. Brett McBride also getting the wave around as well. 1 to go from the officials, and it will be officially Adam Benefiel in first, Justin Wilson second, John Higman, Kyle Taraska, Jonathan Goodell rounding out your top 5. Eric Grundy, Guy Snyder, Scott Simley, CJ LaFair, and Steve Gottschalk running out your top 10. So lots of talent still here, but the 2 I'm watching are the 85 and the 58 to see what they do on this reversed restart.
And I'm watching the 60. John Higman's had outside restart every time and has had a decent run, but the outside is not a way to make a pass. Now he's on the inside. If Adam Benefiel gets a good enough start, I could see him even making a move under his teammate Justin Wilson there just to get that ground and maybe even make a run for it.
Adam Benefiel, Justin Wilson, side by side, going to the start-finish line. The First Racing Ford Mustang pace car makes the left turn down pit road, and now it's Benefiel. Wilson once again restarting. Benefiel sees the green flag, hits the accelerator hard, and Benefiel wastes no time taking away the lead from Justin Wilson. John Higman drops right in behind his teammate, and now battle for position number 5. The 11 and the 94 side by side. 94 will give away the position to the 11, and now the 27, that's Guy Snyder. He's looking for some position as well.
Staying up here with the leaders, the 85 does have the lead, but man, is the 58 coming in a hurry. Justin is not want to give up, or he doesn't want to let them lead that many laps. He wants to get back up front and show them why he started on the pole and why he's been up there all race. Otherwise, looks like it's 1 by 1 for the most part through the field already.
1 by 1 through at least your top 10. Benefiel, Wilson, your front 2. Higman Jr., Kyle Taraska, Jonathan Goodell, Eric Grundy, Guy Snyder. Now 27 gets loose. 27 is sideways. Will bang the inside wall hard on the front stretch and gets back on the racing surface. Guy Snyder, the 27, he's going to lose a lot of position as a result of that one. He's going to fall in somewhere in front of the 13 and back to Brian Lee. Let that 13 of Michael Woolley by this time by. Guy Snyder, not what you want to do, overdrove it off 4, and that's going to cost him in a big, big way.
That's going to cost, yeah, like you said, that's going to cost him. It's unfortunate for him, but it's fortunate for the rest of the field that no caution came out. They can keep going clean and green here, and looks like we're branching off into 2x2x2 groups here. They don't bump draft, they're not pack drafting. That's just how these cars handle.
Glenn Campbell, the Rhinestone Cowboy, picks up a position from 10th to 9th in that number 44, a Ford Fusion. Steve Gottschalk will have to drop in behind him, but he holds on to the top 10. Brian Harvey, Thomas George. You want to talk about someone with a great restart? It's that number 1 Bass Pro Shops tracker boats machine of Thomas George. He started outside the top 15, and look at him now. He is now in the top 12 and counting. He is trying to hunt his way up front, as it looks like the number 4 now, CJ LaFair, is in the inside wall. CJ LaFair may have overdrove it coming off of turn number 4, and now he's paying for his overdriving. Miles is alive and well, and he's hanging out in turn number 4 right now.
Yeah, I was saying about the bump in 2. That bump in 2 hasn't even been a factor yet. It's been the exit off of 4. There must be some wind in the air. Yeah, actually there is. There's a southwest wind of almost 10 miles an hour here today. I wonder if that's
85's around. Adam Benefiel goes around after driving side by side with Justin Wilson. He noses it hard into the inside wall on the back stretch, going off of turn number 2. Now on the apron, turn number 3 and 4. Adam Benefiel in a bad way out there in that number 85 machine. He was your leader. He is going to lose a lot of position as a result of that one. Pace car is out. Yellow flag is out as a result of that spin.
I don't even know what to say about that one. That's a tough one. As you saw, Wilson was on the outside there, and Benefiel was trying to just get the run, and he clipped the apron. And that apron is a disaster, and now turn 2 finally showed its ugly face. Unfortunately, it was with our lead pack.
It really starts around back in turn number 4 with the 85 machine, that 85 of Adam Benefield. It looks like Benefield got a little bit of wiggle going on right in the middle of turn number 4, right as the 58 of Justin Wilson was getting right on that back bumper. The 58 then tried to make the pass the hard way on the outside line, had the advantage going into turn number 1 and 2. The 85 then just overdrove it, caught the apron, and that was all she wrote. Into the spin cycle, nose first into the wall, and then back almost into your into lapping traffic, I should say. Adam Benefield in a bad way. He'll come down pit road now in position number 7. I'd be surprised if he walks away with that same position.
It's like a lot of tracks you go to, as they burn off fuel, the cars get tighter. For some reason here at Bristol, you burn off your fuel, you get looser, and it seems like 5 to 10 laps into a run, even how many times I've raced here, Joe, you get loose 5 to 10 laps into a run for a couple laps, and it's never the same every time. And it just showed right there. Benefield had a fast car, had a little problem, and, well, big problem, I should say. And now he's mired back in the pack again. Maybe the crew will fix the damage, he'll be able to run, but Justin Wilson has that fresh air again. That's crucial.
Justin Wilson back in the lead, comes down pit road for 4 tires and 2 full tanks of that Sunoco Racing fuel. He will be back in the lead when we restart once again. Kyle Tarasca, John Hickman Jr., your top 3, Eric Brundys and Scott Simley now rounding out your top 5. Less than 100 laps to go here at the Monster Mile, and Justin Wilson back in control. Can he hold on for the win? We'll find out. You're watching the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking, live on LSRTV. Justin Wilson getting ready to restart them here once again in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking on LSR TV. Kyle Tarasca restarts for the first time on the outside of the 58. John Hickman Jr. in 3rd, Eric Brundys 4th. Scott Simley, who won here in this series 2 weeks ago, now position number 5. The pace car will make the hard left turn down pit road, and now it's in the hands of Justin Wilson as he gets ready to go. Green flag racing one more time here on lap 67. Less than 100 to go. Here comes Justin Wilson. Here comes the green flag. And look who's coming along for the ride. The 68
and we got a
John
guy in
Hickman,
the wall.
shaking and baking. It looks like we got some problems back here on the track. Yes, we do. The 92 Heavy Smoke. 29's in trouble. More trouble on the track.
Yeah, it looked like the Nerf mobile, gotta find who it was, might have snapped loose in front of the field there.
Looks like it might have been Steve Gottschalk that might have snapped the field there. Also, could have been the 44 of Glenn Campbell that got a piece of it as well. I'm keeping an eye on both those cars. It really looks like it starts around the 44 of Glenn Campbell. The Trans-Service Ford Fusion just gets spins the tires there, it looks like. Hits the accelerator way too hard, spins the tires right in front of the rest of the field, and that is going to bunch everybody up, and that is going to cause a lot of atrophy on this field. Getting a piece of that one was the 55, the 66, the 1, the 29, the 0, 3, the 13, the 85, the 2, the 28. At this rate, Jacob, it might be easier to tell you who didn't get a piece of that one.
That's what I was just going to say, and apologize to the Nerf car of Steve Gottschalk. All I saw was him in the 44 from the blimp look kind of the same, and I just saw a black car with yellow lines going into the wall. And, like you said, Glenn Campbell that Rhinestone Cowboy was not, he was not on top of it that time, and made a little mistake there, mental mistake, and cost himself a race, and looks like maybe a host of other racers as well.
He did not go off the track in a star-spangled rodeo, let's put it that way. Nathan Bowers will call it a night. He's pulled the 0-3 machine behind the garage, and it looks like several other drivers are going to do the same as well. Dan Murray down on pit road, Brendan Mercer with no front end on that 29 Gary Mercer trucking machine. He is going to come down pit road and see what they can do. The 55 of Dan Murray trying to do what they can do to salvage that machine out there, but now a whole host of drivers not going to be completing this race tonight here at Dover. Doug Manning is off the track. Scott Stenzel off the track. E.J. O'Rourke has called it a night. C.J. LeVere has pulled it behind the wall. Jose Malbrand, he's done for the night. Thomas George is done for the night. Eric Arnold might be done for the night as well. Michael Gray, who has been running so valiantly, he might end up doing all right as a result of this restart. The 2 of Rhett McBride's going to continue to keep trying it out there. The 28 of Ryan Vaughn, he's pulled it up behind the garage. He is done for the night as well. So a lot of drivers now pulling it behind the garage, just saying, you know what, we'll lick our wounds and we'll come back here in 1 week. The tricky track gotta be easier than this. Glenn Campbell also off track as well. So what was a 28 car field has now been reduced to 13 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, and like you said about Michael Gray, patience is going to be his greatest virtue tonight, and he's proven why you don't end a race early. He, he's down now. He's only down 6 laps. He's up to 22nd, and a couple of these guys who did leave the server, or he's going to move up. I think he's going to be about maybe 17th in a couple laps, and if things keep rolling the way they are, I hope they don't, but if they do, he can keep getting these lucky dogs because the leaders will keep hitting, and he'll just stay out and get a wave around and get back on the lead lap.
I apologize to the 53 machine, the driver of that 53 machine. He remains on track right now. So the 53 of Jose Malbrand, he will continue to run out here, albeit several laps down, currently being scored 10 laps down. So Jose Malbrand continuing to run. He's going to try to do the best finish he can in that 53 AARP Drive to End Hunger Jeff Gordon lookalike machine. Justin Wilson still at the head of the field. John Higman will restart right beside him. Kyle Taraska, Eric Brundles, and Scott Simley rounding out your top 5. Justin Wilson has really found something in that 58 machine that is working beautifully for him all night here tonight. And I've got a feeling Justin Wilson, the way things are going, he's got less than 90 laps to go at this point. He's got 89 according to my tally. Justin Wilson might be able just to pull this off after all.
The only thing that's going to stop him is Miles. The guy that could do it, Miles got him. Either Miles wants Justin to win, or he's setting Justin up for the most devastating finish, because that car is running outstanding. So either the Beast is going to show up and stop him, or he's just going to run away with it, I think.
Anything could happen here at the Monster Mile at Dover International Speedway. They call it a Monster Mile for a reason, and we have seen the monster flex its muscle all over the track here tonight. 13 cars remain on the lead lap. Jason Lester has retired from the track. Jason Lester in the 92 machine has pulled it behind the wall. He is done for the evening, but Justin Wilson continues to drive on. John Hickman Jr., Kyle Taraska, Eric Brundys, Scott Simley, your top 5 as Justin Wilson gets ready to wind them up and get them restarted one more time here at Dover. The 46 makes a lunge at the 58, and the 46 is hungry. Kyle Taraska wants a position, and he wants it in the worst way. Not going to get it, though, as Hickman Jr. gets a jump. Justin Wilson coming along with him. Top 3 single file, top 4 single file. Scott Simley in the mix right now. They are single file all the way back to position number 10 right now.
Yeah, Kyle last restart tried that as well, and he missed it by a quarter of a second for the perfect restart. And when he let off the gas, that was when Justin jumped it. Same thing this way. Anyone who watches NASCAR knows this Dover's a lot about a follow the leader race. So if that leader gets out there, he usually leads for a lot of laps. But you have comers and goers in phases. We're not at the halfway point yet, so we don't know who the best guy is still. But to this point, it's Justin, and it looks like the 60 and the 46 are the next best competitors.
Justin Wilson up front, John Hickman, Kyle Taraska, your top 3. And then you got to give a shout to your points leader, Eric Brundys. The 94 machine running now, finding a way to run here in the top 5. He's patiently worked his way up to position number 4, and assuming nothing comes in front of him or around him or nearby that 94 machine, Eric Brundys could be looking at a top 5 finish, and more importantly, getting a lot of distance between him and Rhett McBride. Right now, Eric Brundys runs in the top 5. The number 2 machine of Rhett McBride is really running 14th, 5 laps down. So Eric Brundys, he could be cruising right now to a very easy way to increase his points lead.
Yeah, but by looking at the paint scheme, I can tell he likes a gentleman maybe by the name of Joey Logano. Joey Logano doesn't like to sit back and wait, and I don't think he's going to sit back either. I think he's going to be cautious, but I think he's going to try to go for the win here. That 46, though, man, is he tearing the back of the 60 car up. He wants that position. You can see him sawing and trying everything to get by him, and it's just not working. But here he's going on the inside as I'm saying that now.
Kyle Taraska gets around the 60 now. 60 gets a wiggle. 60 could be in trouble. He's going to be able to rescue it coming off of turns number 4. John Hickman Jr. loses 2 position, but at least the car's direction out there. So Hickman Jr. loses 2 positions, but he will stay on the track. He will stay going in the right direction. Justin Wilson continues to stand alone as he starts to pass lap traffic. That was the 53 of Jose Malbrand that they just got around. Justin Wilson keeps in front. Kyle Taraska second. Eric Brundys third. John Hickman Jr. fourth. And now Scott Simley, who won 2 weeks ago at Charlotte, trying to pull a Jimmy Johnson out there as he's going to go for 2 wins. Try to go for 2 for 2 back-to-back wins here. He's running number 5.
And Scott Simley started, I think, 14th or 15th, so that's a solid run with all the drama that's going on tonight. And this is the first I think we've hit lap traffic, too. So here we go. Business is going to pick up. We've got the field spread out across the track. And let's go to town, boys. Let's see if Kyle and Eric can catch Justin and make a move. You know, nothing that's going to wreck them, but make a move. Let's see some door-banging racing for the lead.
Justin Wilson, at this point, one of the Jody Katina Racing drivers out there, he's just kind of running for pride and fun right now tonight. He's only had 3 starts here in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series series here in 2014. His best finish was a top 5 in one of those 3 starts. So Justin Wilson just looking to have a little bit of fun in the Joey Katina Racing machine out there, and he looks like he's having a lot of fun out there, running all the way by himself, leaving Kyle Taraska about a half second away. And here comes Eric Brundys, your points leader. That 94 machine, he could definitely use this top 5 finish. He's already had 2 wins in 10 starts, 7 top 5s, 8 top 10s out there, turning over 1,200 laps in the series so far. Brundys looking for a big night and a big boost to his points lead tonight.
Well, with stats like that, you should be able to boost your points lead. That's an outstanding season so far for Eric. And he's cruising. You can see the lines. I'm just riding around on the in-car camera on the bumper of the 58, watching the 2 different lines for Kyle and Eric. They have 2 different lines going, and one, I think, is burning his tires up. The other is not. I'm not going to say who because I'm not going to jinx them, but I think we're going to see shortly who did and who didn't.
Well, I think we're about to see a lot of things play out as this race starts to wind down. We're running lap 85, which means we've got not a whole lot of time left here on the field. And now if you're going to start showing your car and start showing what the car is made of, you're going to start showing it here and in what's going to end up being the closing laps. Just over 75 laps left before we determine a winner here at Dover in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking. It will be Justin Wilson up front, Kyle Tarasca second, Eric Grundy's third, John Hickman Jr. fourth, and now looks like Scott Simley will get passed by Jonathan Cadell, the 11 machine of Jonathan Cadell. He'll now end up position number 5. Scott Simley, who won 2 weeks ago in Charlotte, might not be able to pull the Jimmy Johnson out here. He's going to run 6th.
Yeah, he just kind of crept up on him and made a nice move. I almost think he kind of gave it to him there, knowing he was on him. Because there's one position, he has a 2-second gap between the guy behind him, and now they're stretched out. And looking at the timing, Kyle Tarasca is catching our leader. He seems to be the only one doing it slowly but surely. Maybe Justin's saving his stuff, or maybe the wear setup's coming in. But everyone's falling into the groove right now. And Michael Gray up to 15th. Joe, he's just sticking in the room. He's up to 15th already.
Trying to hold out, trying to have a good finish out here. Michael Gray, who was involved in, I believe, the first incident tonight. He is not going to go quietly into that good night. You got to give him a lot of credit for that, considering how many drivers have dropped off as a result. Justin Wilson now getting in some lap traffic. CJ LeVere going to get out of the way. Michael Woolley about to be forced out of the way as Justin Wilson bears down on him in the lap traffic. Oh, the 58's around. He made contact with the 13. 58's around. Makes contact with the 4. Justin Wilson's night could have just come to a tragic end as he makes contact with lap traffic. Justin Wilson, his night might be over. There is no moving in that car. There is no engine starting. Justin Wilson's done.
Well, like I said, the only reason he's not going to win tonight is if Miles comes out and reaches for him. Well, Miles just smacked the 13 around, and as you can see, the 13 comes off the wall. Justin comes up, catching his lap traffic, and the 13 was trying to get out of the way, but he hit the wall, and when he hit the wall, he came back across the track, hit him, and that is, oh man, I don't even know how to sympathize for him right now. That is a terrible, terrible incident.
13 of Michael Woolley can't get out of the way fast enough. Justin Wilson thinking he's going to get out of the way, not able to avoid the 13 getting in the wall, and Justin Wilson, they are going to tow that car behind the wall. Their night is done, and I've got a feeling they're going to have nothing kind to say to the crew of the 13 as a result of that incident. Woolley has heavy smoke coming out of his car, so his night could be done as well. We'll have to try to grab one of those exiting drivers as they come out of the infield care center and try to figure out what happened to their run. Eric Grundy's will come down to lead them down pit road. John Hickman Jr. will do the same. Hickman Jr. in his pit stall. Eric Grundy's has got the right sides up, looking for 2 brand new Goodyear Eagles. Will it be a 4-tire stop? Yes, it will. It'll be a 4-tire stop. Right side Eagles come off. Eagles come on. Full tank of Sunoco Racing fuel in there, and it will be Kyle Tarasca off first. And Kyle Tarasca, good stop for his crew. They took 4 tires out there, and now it's a brand new race there, Jacob. Kyle Tarasca is now back in the hunt. Eric Grundy's in the hunt. Jonathan Cadell's in the hunt. And John Hickman Jr., he might be able to get the win after all.
And throw out the book. Every note I took so far this race means nothing. It's so devastating for Justin. I can't imagine what's going through his head right now. And this just opened up an opportunity for all these guys who are dialing their cars to catch him. You know, like you said, Kyle and Eric, those two had a very good car, and Hickman does as well. And now all 3 of them are up here with a very, very good setup, 4 fresh tires. It's anyone's ball game now.
Anyone's ball game is the nice way to put it. As a result of that incident, the 13 of Michael Woolley will be putting it, but I believe he's been asked to park it. He'll be putting it behind the wall here pretty soon if they can't get it restarted on their own power. So Michael Woolley now down on pit road doing whatever they can to that car, but it might just be done as well as a result of that incident. Here's a startling statistic for you, though, Jacob. 28 cars started tonight's race on the lead lap. Only 11 remain on the lead lap. Those 11, Kyle Tarasca, Eric Brundage, Jonathan Cadell, Scott Simley, John Higman Jr., Nathan Little, Guy Snyder, Steve Gottschalk, Dan Murray, Brendan Mercer, and Kevin Linden. The only 9 survivors left. And will all these 9 have a shot to walk away with a big win here, or at least a big top 10 finish?
And that's even a smaller number to say who was not involved in an incident. I only think maybe 4 or 5 cars have not been somehow involved in something. One being Kyle Tarasca, Eric Bundy's, and John Higman Jr. I think are 3 for sure that have not been involved in anything. But the rest of this field has been somehow or another, a way or another, been involved either in the restart wreck or the bottleneck wreck off turn 2. And this is just, it's rough. But at the same time, for the guys who are still in it, it means everything now. They have a clean slate. The guy who was crushing them is not crushing them anymore. All of a sudden, you have a fresh life. The Menard, Mobile, and Outlaw Mobile might even come in here and start rattling cages.
So Kyle Tarasca will, for the first time, have the opportunity to restart this field in position number 1. Your points leader, Eric Brundage, in ready to go in position number 2. Jonathan Cadell ready in position number 3. It will be Scott Simley, I believe, position number 4. And John Higman Jr. relegated all the way back to position number 5. Nathan Little, Guy Snyder, Steve Gottschalk, Dan Murray, Kevin Linden, rounding out your top 10, Brendan Mercer, and I believe Brendan Mercer will be the last one on the lead lap in the number 29 machine in position number 11. Pace car makes a hard left turn down pit road. Kyle Tarasca, Eric Brundage go side by side, getting ready to go back to green flag racing, and it will be Kyle Tarasca's field as he drops the hammer. And we are back to green flag racing, scoring lap number 95. 66 laps left to go before the monster can be put to rest.
Kyle Tarasca got another great restart there too. He's been having them all night and has been delayed because the leader would just go a second later. Now he got the call on his own and got a great restart. But Eric just predicted it perfect. And man, is that Fusion hooking up right now behind him.
It's the Ford and the Chevy, second and first out there as Kyle Tarasca continues to lead in front in position. You know Brundage is hunting for win number 3 on the season, and you know he wants to get in the worst way around Kyle Tarasca. Brundage in second, Cadell third, John Higman fourth, Guy Snyder rounding out your top 5. Look who's getting ready to make a run. Nathan Little, I should say, the Outlaw, trying to make a move on the 27 of Guy Snyder. The 68 of Scott Simley still in the mix as well. 27-41 go side by side into turns number 3 and 4, and there goes Nathan Little. He'll now be position number 5. Gary Snyder position number 6. And Scott Simley position number 7.
Yeah, right now the biggest thing these guys need to do, like in Eric Bundy's case, is ride. Miles is not like the leader. That's the second time the leader's been taken out tonight, and not by his own doing. It's just from the track itself and unfortunate timing and placement. So if I'm the 94, I'm just riding. Like I said, though, at 41, he has nothing to lose right now. He is driving the wheels off that car, trying to catch Kyle, Eric, and company up here in the front.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob, but I don't believe Kyle Tarasca has registered a start in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking so far this year. Kyle Tarasca, I believe, is starting for the first time here in the Cup Series, and how great would that be? What kind of story would that be for Kyle Tarasca if first start ends up being his first win in the 2014 campaign?
That would be a spin and a half, and it would be powerful, but there's a problem. The guy right behind him isn't going to let some rookie one-time racer come in and take it away. And I shouldn't say rookie. Kyle's a very, very good racer. But a first time of this season racer, he's not going to let him take it over. Eric wants this because he is the champion as of right now of our RSR. He's going for it, and he's not going to let him do it, I don't think.
Kyle Taraska continues to hold that low line. Eric Brundys, both those guys get by the 53 of Jose Malbrand very easily. Malbrand continuing to run despite that very damaged machine out there. Kyle Taraska looking for his first win in his first start out there. Eric Brundys looking for win number 3, and hopefully in big advantage over Rhett McBride. Rhett McBride came into this race 15 points behind Eric Brundys. Unless something happens to Brundys, that gap might continue to grow as Rhett McBride currently being scored position number 12, 4 laps down from your lead cars. Less than 60 to go, 58 currently right now is left to go, 57 as the 46 and 94 cross the start-finish line. Taraska continues to lead, but here comes Brundys on the inside through turns 1 and 2.
Man, was that a beautiful run there. He dimed it in there perfectly. Is going to get the preferred line here going into 3. Can he hold it down low? It looks like he can hold it there, but that momentum on the outside is going to give him a fight.
Kyle Taraska finds a way to get the big mo on the outside, doesn't make contact with the wall, or if it does, it's negligible as the 46 continues to run down low, down high, no matter where he is. He's keeping the 94 of Eric Brundys behind him. Kyle Taraska is no stranger to sim racing, no stranger to iRacing, is certainly no stranger to real sim racing. Despite this being his first official start of the 2014 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series campaign, he's really a very accomplished driver out there. He's got a lot of stickers on that car that attest to his ability out there, and I think Kyle Taraska, maybe not being able to run the full schedule tonight or this season, still has something to prove out there on the track as he continues to lead, scoring lap 107.
Yeah, going down there, Jose came out of pit road and hit that commitment cone, and I watched that thing fly in the air, and I think that's when we both kind of just were like, oh, oh, oh. And then we realized it was just the commitment cone coming out on the track. The 94 is just riding. I'm trying to figure out right now, though, Joe, fuel mileage. I don't know how long these guys can go on a fuel run, because if they make green flag pit stops, who short pits? Who gets 4 tires before everyone else in short pits?
That's a very good question, as we have a change now for the lead on the back straightaway. Eric Brundys finds a way around Kyle Taraska, and now the Shell Pennzoil machine is going to try to lead some laps out here, scoring lap 109 of 160. Eric Brundys, your 2-time winner and points leader, now up front on the field. Kyle Taraska second, and it will be John Hickman Jr. rounding out your top 3, but really all eyes are on the front 2, as between the 2 of them, they've got almost a second on John Hickman Jr. Eric Brundys officially your leader.
And I'm looking back here, the 27, Guy Snyder. We can get a replay on it a lap ago. He actually got really loose. He was right behind, let me see here, Mercer, I believe. He was right behind the 29, and he had smoke coming out. And when he did that, it almost like there was oil on the track, and he just snapped loose. He saved it, but ooh, was that really close.
Heavy smoke now pouring out of the 29 machine of Brennan Mercer. Not exactly sure what happened to the 29 machine, but you're sort of looking at the replay now, coming through turns 3 and 4, the engine finally gave way right in the middle of turn number 4. It looks like Brennan Mercer, his night might be done as the engine gives out on that 29 machine. No caution flag on the field from that one. Not going down pit road will be the 55 of Dan Murray. He's been banged up a little bit out there on the field as well. So not sure if the 55 is coming in for an early pit stop or if he's just going to try to come in and get some damage repaired on that 55 machine.
Yeah, I mean, these guys could be hearing our broadcast right now, Joe. Maybe they're like, ooh, let's short pit. You know, some guys have the powerful connection that they can do the information like that and have the luxury of listening to the broadcast while the race is going on, hearing their names and sponsors out there. And great save, though, by Guy Snyder. I'll give him the Good Hands Award for tonight. That was a nice save there in the smoke from Mercer. And just following along now, Simley, he got around the 41 a few laps ago. He's chasing down Jonathan Cadell here for 4th place. He wants to get up there.
Let's go ahead and take some laps here with the 91 of Steve Gottschalk, currently scored 8th. trying to fight with Guy Snyder for the position on the track. And let's give you just an idea of how hard they're running to keep up with the monster here at Dover International Speedway. Steve Gottschalk, the Nerf car. Go ahead, Laura, let's crank it up. Another one bites the dust here at Dover, and it's going to be the 27 of Guy Snyder. You watched him. You watched it happen from the dashboard of the 91 of Steve Gottschalk, and it looks like the same thing happened again, Jacob. Coming off of turn number 4, the 27 got the wiggles out there, made contact with the outside wall, tried to rescue it, but wasn't able to do so going into turn number 1. Came back up on the track, almost hits the puzzle piece in the middle of turn number 1, and Guy Snyder, heavy smoke coming out of that one. That engine is done. His race is done for the night. Just over 40 laps to go left on the field. Eric Brundys is taking it away.
Eric Grundy is taking it away, but I've been watching the laps here a little bit, and there is one guy I think just maybe, can click off some laps here. I don't know if he can be dubbed the closer, but that John Hickman Jr., he has been gaining slowly, a couple laps here, some ground on him. Kyle Tarasco's losing him though in a heartbeat. He's down to 1.3 seconds already, and this is all, well, as I say, that he gains 2/10 on him, so we'll have to see here. Pit stops here might change everything. If they miss their pit stall, drop a lug nut, anything, it could change the face of it. But we only have 7 cars on the lead lap, so you can pretty much write off your top 5 at this point.
Eric Brundys now cruising through the win. 39 laps left to go before he walks away with the win, and he's now got 1.1 seconds over Kyle Tarasca out there on the field. So Eric Brundys basically in his own time zone. He's got a couple time zones between him and Kyle Tarasca. John Hickman Jr. in 3rd, Jonathan Cadell 4th. Similar, your top 5. Even little Steve Gottschalk, 91, the driver you were running along with just a moment ago. He is the last one on the lead. He is the last one on the lead lap. Now, I'm understanding that the 46 is a regular entry. Kyle Tarasca is not. He is subbing tonight, actually, for Mark Branchner, the regular driver, in that number 46 machine out there. And you got to believe Mark Branchner's incredibly happy with how Kyle Tarasca is running for him out there on the field. Branchner, starting all 10 races so far this season, is currently sitting in mountain position number 13, 131 points away from the lead. And so this is going to do nothing but help Branchner's campaign this year.
And it's a great thing knowing you have friends on here who can drive the car respectable for you. That great run then for Tarasca, not even being his full-time ride. This is a part-time, one-night thing by the sounds of it. So great run for him so far. And coming up here on 34 to go, things are gonna slow down and pick up, slow down, pick up. That's Dover. We got some lap traffic though we're gonna slowly deal with here. See if the 2nd and 3rd place guys can catch up with Brundys when he gets here to the lap traffic.
1.2 seconds now for Eric Brundys. That's the lead he's got on Kyle Tarasca. Make that up just over 1 second as Brundys had to deal with some lap traffic just a moment ago. John Hickman Jr. 3rd, Jonathan Cadell 4th, Scott Sibley rounding out your top 5. Steve Gottschalk about to go 1 lap down as he slowly getting caught up by the 94 of Eric Brundles. If that happens, they would take down your lead car count from 7 to 6, your lead lap car count from 7 to 6. Now the 94 starting to hunt the 91 of Steve Gottschalk. Gottschalk, nothing he can do. He's just going to go high and let the 94 around him. Eric Brundles, he will take away the position, and another one goes one lap down. What was a 7-car group, now a 6-car group, as Kyle Tarasca's got a second win in his sails. He's just picked off 0.2 of a second in 2 laps on Eric Grundy's lead.
Yeah, that was a little bit from the lap traffic, and he just hit him there at the entrance to the turn. Hopefully he can get a good run here and keep gaining that ground he is doing. But what happened to Higman? Man, is he out of the picture right now.
Higman has having a little bit of problems out there, but Kyle Tarasca is the one I am keeping an eye on right now in that 46 machine, in the substitute ride. He is finding something in that car, or Eric Brundles is starting to ease off a little bit, trying to go into conservation mode. In any event, 30 laps left to go on the field. Brundles, Tarasca, they are about to do battle as they continue to pick it up here at Dover.
Yeah, and I think it's fuel conservation mode right now for Higman. Sounds like he is pushing the clutch in, trying to save a little bit of fuel. I mean, is he going to try to stretch it the whole way?
I've seen stranger things happen here at Dover. It looks like Kyle Tarasca is about to do the same thing a little bit. He looks like he's starting to back off of the 94 of Eric Brundys and waiting to see what Brundys is going to do in order to make his own strategy move. Both these drivers might have to play a little bit of a strategy out there, a little bit of a conservation if they want to end up walking away from this race under their own power. And it looks like both drivers are starting to do that now.
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know. Some guys are trying to save the fuel. Other guys are. We'll have to see here. That's a long way to go on a 1 fuel tank.
It's going to make it for a very long race as these guys are playing conservation mode the entire time, playing catch as catch can. 0.4 of a second between these two drivers right now, which is about the length of one turn here at the Monster Mile at Dover International Speedway, Dover, Delaware, the venue for tonight's race. Eric Brundys, Kyle Tarasca, no change in their, actually a big change in their lead. Brundys got tired of playing conservation, and he's going to put almost a second between himself and Kyle Tarasca. I'm not sure if that was a deliberate move or if Kyle Tarasca is getting way too conservative.
I'm watching the lap times. I mean, they were running 24-second laps. Either A, he figured out that the fuel conservation is not going to help, or, well, I don't know. I'm not in these drivers' heads right now. This is interesting because they're going from 0.4 of a second lead to 0.8 one lap and back and forth. Tarasca's making another run here again.
This is going to be one of the wildest finishes for the ages here at Dover International Speedway. 6 cars on the lead lap, and Eric Brundys leads them. Half a second over Kyle Tarasca. John Higman squarely in third. Jonathan Goodell fourth. And 2 weeks winner ago, Scott Simley, he's now squarely positioned number 5. And Scott Simley, he's not having a bad night himself. At one point, he was in contention to win this race out here after his big win 2 weeks ago at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So Scott Simley could easily walk away with a little bit with another top 5 finish as a result, which can only help and benefit his campaign, picking up 4 positions from 2 weeks ago when he won that race at Charlotte, looking to pick up a lot more positions over Scott Simley, Brandon Peterson, and maybe even Steve Gottschalk.
Yeah, and Rhett McBride, I think, just had to swallow his pride there and give the 94 the room. He could easily held him up to let Tarasca get around him, but he gave him that courtesy of, listen, you're faster than me, even though you are the points leader and I want to gain everything. He gave him the room, and now Tarasca's on him. He's 0.2 of a second off of him. Business is picking up.
of a set between Brundys and Tarasca. About a car, maybe 2 car lengths between the 94 and the 46. These guys are about to do battle out here, and it's going to be, as I said a moment ago, a finish for the ages. Brundys, Tarasca, first and second. And now Brundys has to get on the loud pedal, so does Tarasca, as these guys have to battle back and forth to do whatever they can to hold on to their position. The $64,000 question, though, is do either one of them have the fuel to do it?
Watching the lap times, they're going for it, so it's either going to be run out on the last lap probably, or it's going to be really close. But neither of them are in conservation mode. They're running about 23.4s each, and a few laps ago they were running 23.1s, so that might be the tire wear off right now.
Less than 20 laps to go between Brundys, Tarasca. Less than a car length between them. These guys are going to do it. It's either going to be checkers or wreckers for Brundys, Tarasca, and company, which actually puts John Hickman Jr. in a really good spot right now with nobody around him, with nothing better to do. All he's got to do is turn some laps, and if both these drivers end up running out of fuel or end up wrecking out for some reason, John Hickman Jr. could very literally back his way into the win.
It's hard to believe we started, what, with 28 cars. We're down to 10 cars, roughly 15 cars on the track. But we have 2 cars who you could cover a blanket over right now. They're that tight together.
They are that tight together, and really the battle now between Brundys and Kyle Tarasca as they continue to turn laps at this juncture. When they cross the start-finish line, it will be 16 to go, and now Tarasca's starting to back off once again. Tarasca needs to figure out what he's going to do.
And we just had a change of position for 3rd and 4th. Hickman Jr. fell back to 4th, and Jonathan Cadell, he is taking that 11 Toyota Camry of his and driving pretty hard to the front right now. I mean, he's 3.5 seconds behind with 15 to go. That's, I think, a little too much ground to make up. But he's making a valiant run right now for it. And now he cuts it down to 2.9 seconds, so maybe he's the closer.
15 laps to go. If he's going to close it out, he's got to do so in a hurry. And Jonathan Cadell, no stranger to this series and no stranger to running here up top and up in this lead group out here. Jonathan Cadell came into this race 4th in points, 71 points behind Eric Brundys for the lead. 2 top 5s, 6 top 10s. No wins on the season, so Jonathan Cadell looking to try to poach it if Kyle Tarasca and Eric Brundys can't finish it.
He is moving, Joe. He is half a second a lap faster than both these guys. He just clicked off another half a second. Let's see what he is here at the line here again. He is clicked off another half a second. He's only 1.9 seconds off the front two.
Problem is, though, time is running out. He's less than 20 to go. He's less than 15 to go. He needs to make sure that number 11 can make it the rest of the way through, and that Eric Brundys and Tarasca don't have something left up there. Both these drivers take observation. He picks off more than a half second that time by. We might have a race for the win after all.
Wow, I don't know where he came from, but he is coming like a rocket. That 11 car is on the move. Look at the ground he's gaining in the middle of 3 and 4.
Jonathan Cadell hunting for his first win tonight. 11 to go. His first win in the 2014 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Now battling for position number 2. The 46 is almost yielding to the 11. Cadell through the nose underneath the 46. Not able to stick it. And now we got a race heating up with 11 to go. 10 to go as soon as they cross the start-finish line. 11 almost makes contact with a 46. 46 forcing it on the back bumper of the 94. 10 to go as they go to the turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, clearly the 11 has the faster car, but the problem is Tarasca wants to lead too, and he ain't going to surrender it to second place to Cadell. Man, oh man, here we go.
Eric Brundys goes way high. Brundys makes contact with the wall. His 3rd win might just have been robbed from him as Kyle Tarasca stole the position. Now here comes Jonathan Cadell. He's got the preferred line down low. The 46 and 11 side by side. 46 goes high. 46 into the wall. Jonathan Cadell steals the lead with less than 10 to go.
If he does not run out of fuel, I think the 11 has the car, but does he have enough fuel now?
That is an excellent question. 8 to go as they cross the line. Jonathan Cadell now starting to take away time. Almost a second over Kyle Taraska. Almost a second and a half over Eric Brundys. He's leaving both of those cars in the dust. Either he's got something up his sleeve or he's got something working up there. But nonetheless, Jonathan Cadell found a way to make it work. And now Jonathan Cadell has to hold on for 7 more laps.
Strut Masters is smiling ear to ear right now. They put their logo on his car because they knew he'd make some noise, and he came all the way from the back. I think he was almost 8 seconds behind at one point here in this last fuel run, and here he is, 2.5 seconds, maybe even more, over the front two. He's going to really be a big lead here. Question is, does he have the fuel mileage? He's not relentless. He's not letting off the gas, so I think he's going to be good here with almost a 4-second lead already.
5.5 laps left to go as he ducks it into turns 3 and 4. Still a little bit of battle going on between Kyle Taraska and Eric Brundys, as Brundys doesn't want to relegate himself to position number 3. He wants that second place position off of Kyle Taraska. Taraska wiggles it off the turn as we've got just 5 more circuits left to go. Taraska and Brundys, they've got nothing left as Cadell leaves them in the dust. Cadell's got almost 5 seconds on him, which is just about the length of one of these stretches out here, these straight stretches here at Dover. Cadell will cross the line this time by 4 to go.
Just think, 5 laps ago, he was 5 seconds behind them, and in a flip of a switch, he turned on the afterburners on that number 11 Toyota Camry, and he is gone.
Gone, baby, gone. Jonathan Cadell has just done something to that machine to get himself up front. 2 to go. 3 to go at this juncture. Popsicle sticks will fly next time by Jonathan Cadell. Unreal, the lead he has now on Kyle Taraska and Eric Brundys. Meanwhile, Taraska and Brundys not willing to settle this just yet. Brundys gas the 94 near the 46, and now Brundys looking to make a move on that 46 machine. If he's going to do so, now is the time to do it. When they cross the start-finish line, popsicle sticks will show for Kyle Taraska, Eric Brundys. 2 to go for these drivers. The 46, 94 fighting for position number 2.
Yeah, this is amazing the run he's making. Jonathan Hagman there in 4th, Nathan Little in 5th, and Scott Simley in 6th. Looks like they're going to be in the lead lap. Great run for them so far tonight.
White flies for Jonathan Cadell. He's got 4 more turns to make before he is your winner. Now battle between Kyle Taraska and Eric Brundys. Brundys now trying to duck low under the 46. Not going to happen this time by Jonathan Cadell. Already in turns 3 and 4. Let's go ahead and file Taraska and Brundys as they try to settle this one more time. Cadell coming off turn number 4. Taraska now in the middle of the stretch. He's going to take it into turn 3 with at least 2 car lengths over Eric Brundys. It's official. Jonathan Cadell is finished first. He will win here at Dover. Taraska puts the hammer down coming off turn number 4. He will finish 2nd. Eric Brundys 3rd. John Hickman Jr. 4th. Nathan Little rounds out your top 5. Jonathan Cadell from the middle of nowhere comes in front and steals the race away from Kyle Taraska and Eric Brundys. We might as well call Jonathan Cadell the monster of the monster mile, because he found a way to tame it and make the monster do his bidding for him.
Yeah, he drove just like the sentiment of Kevin Harvick. You know, where did he come from? Well, we just watched it right here.
Jonathan Cadell burning it out in the Strut Masters Toyota Camry on the front straightaway. Jonathan Cadell, your winner, as he celebrates this big win for that StrutMasters.com Toyota Camry. When we come back, we'll talk to your top 3 finishers, recap what's been a very entertaining race here, and get ready to look forward to these guys making the trek to the tricky triangle in just 1 week's time. Jonathan Cadell, your winner. We'll talk to him next here on LSR TV. 160 laps complete here at Dover International Speedway. The monster has spoken in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking. The Dover 160 coming to an end. Jonathan Cadell finding it in him to somehow finish this race in front of Kyle Tarasca and Eric Brundys, who brought this race pretty much to a close from lap 100 on. John Hickman Jr. finishing 4th, Nathan Little 5th, Scott Simley, your top 6, finishing 6th. He's the last one to finish on the lead lap. Steve Gottschalk 7th, Kenneth Linden 8th, Rhett McBride 9th, and Jose Malbrand rounding out your top 10. Guy Snyder in 11th, Dan Murray 12th, Brandon Mercer 13th, Michael Woolley finishes 14th, Justin Wilson finishes 15th, Michael Gray 16th, CJ LaVere 17th, it'll be Adam Benefield 18th, Brian Harvey 19th, Jason Lester rounding out your top 20. Nathan Bowers, Thomas George, Glenn Campbell, Ryan Vaughn, Eric Arnold, TJ O'Rourke, Scott Stenzel, and Doug Manning rounding out your field of 28 here tonight at the Monster Mile in Dover. 9 caution flags, 35 caution laps, 7 lead changes among the leaders, and the man who stands at the top of that mountain, Jonathan Cadell. Jonathan Cadell getting his first win here tonight at Dover International Speedway, coming out to the Gatorade shower. And Jonathan, I think the question that we all have for you, where did that run come from at the end?
Tire management, man. That's all I had for him. I could not keep up with them on the short run. I about lost it 2 or 3 times there trying to, so I was like, well, I got to try a different game here. So luckily we got that long green flag run and ended up winning it.
The Strutmasters.com Toyota Camry really found something at the end there, and you say it was tire management. How tough was that at this track where you have so many obstacles, where you have to run so hard to make it work? How hard was it to properly manage your tires all the way up to that last run with starting about 20 to go?
Most of the race it was tough because we didn't get any green flag runs, but that last one, it actually wasn't too tough. I just ran about 75%. And saved my stuff, wasn't trying too hard. So, but there at the end, getting a battle there with Eric and Kyle, that was a little tough. But other than that, it was pretty easy there, saved my stuff.
First win of the season, Kurt came into this race 4th in points. You're going to get a nice little boost out of this one. What's the plan now for the rest of session number 2?
Keep winning races, man. That's all I can do. I'll just try to get my points lead back. I had a rough stretch there, but try to get some consistent finishes and quit driving over my head.
Sound advice for any driver on the iRacing sim: just keep driving your own race and the wins will come. Before I let you go, Jonathan, anyone you'd like to thank, anyone who you'd like to give a shout out to, the microphone's all yours, my friend.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Scott Beatles and everyone there at strutmasters.com. LSRTV, I'd like to welcome y'all back. It's good to have y'all back, and I just thank my wife for letting me do this every Monday night.
Jonathan Cadell, the Strutmasters.com Toyota Camry, finishing first tonight after a great tire management run. Congratulations on your first place win. Congratulations on your first win of the series, and I'm sure we'll be looking for a equally impressive run next week at Pocono.
Thank you.
That's Jonathan Cadell finishing first. Let's go ahead and kick it down to Jacob Nye, who's caught up with our second place finisher, Kyle Tarasca.
Hey, right, Joe, I'm down here with our Kyle Tarasca here, driving the 46. Doesn't look like he's getting sponsors on a uniform because he doesn't race this car every week. Kyle, run us through those last few laps here. When Jonathan came out of nowhere, I know you and Eric were fighting pretty hard.
Yeah, it was kind of. I really don't know how to comment on him. We're fighting a broke system here with iRacing. I mean, you got to give them credit. They made the new tire model, which all you guys know about, and they've worked really hard on it. And in my opinion, it's really the best it's ever been for at least feel for a stock car anyway, for the car being on the asphalt. And but unfortunately, after about 35, 40 laps, the tires they wear off, and once they wear off, they're gone. And Cadell did it the best way. He laid back. He fell off about 5 or 6 seconds from me and Eric, and I thought that I thought he just hit what we call the cliff. I just thought he hit that earlier than everybody else, and I didn't even think anything of him. And then when I hit it, and then me and Eric kind of hit it at the same time, and we raced hard, but by that point it was too late. And I mean, iRacing still has a lot of work to do for a guy to. I mean, not to take anything away from Cadell, because that was he well deserves we've raced together so many times, and that was a great win for him, and I'm really happy for him. I just race here for fun, but just making a statement for iRacing. I mean, when you have a guy that's 3 seconds behind you, then he beats you by 10 seconds, and he did it all in, what, 12 laps or so? I mean, that's a little ridiculous, but, I mean, not to take anything away from Jonathan. I mean, that was a great race, and me and Eric had a great battle there, but just, it's unfortunate that it had to, we just couldn't race it out the right way and have something like that affect it.
Yeah, you know, that's the nature of the beast here. Miles must have been looking over him here. You were racing hard early on with Justin Wilson and others, and bad luck plagued them. How did you avoid all of that?
Well, it beats me on that restart there about lap 10. I still got to go watch the replay on your broadcast there, but that was pretty crazy. My spotter told me to reckon in front, and I just kind of held on, and I really couldn't see it till the very end, and almost ran over my teammate Scott Stenzel. I know he had trouble later on, and then the deal with Wilson, that was just that being at the wrong place at the wrong time or the right time, whatever. But unfortunately, just a lap car was in his lane and got a little bit loose down the straightaway because it's really easy to spin the tires here at Dover, and it just happened. It kind of bit him like how bit the leaders at Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. We had a lap car, he just couldn't get out of his own way, and it caused a big wreck. But I mean, that's just racing. That's just how it goes, and you just got to fight the battles, and I mean, in the end, we had a second place finish, and I was subbing for Mark Bratcher tonight, and just thanking him for the opportunity, and it was a great race overall.
Yeah, you said you're racing for Mark here tonight. Are we going to see you in the near future racing as yourself? Come in and race the points with Real Sim Racing and go for the championship?
I mean, I think it's a little bit 11 weeks in. It's a little bit too late to go for a championship, and with my schedule over the summer months is very sporadic. So, I mean, I'm just, as I've been telling guys over the past couple of weeks, I just enjoy my role being a substitute driver for whoever. It's been Mark the past couple of weeks, and I mean, I think I've been talking to Pasoko the last month or so, and it's just like every week I'm in a different number, but it doesn't matter what number's on the door as long as it's up in the front. And I mean, anyone else who wants a substitute driver, I'm your guy. So I enjoy my role here at the series. I love all the guys here. It's a great series, and hope to see some more guys come out soon.
Well, you heard it there. We'll give you the chance here. Do you have anyone you want to thank for your performance here tonight at Dover?
Yeah, obviously want to thank Mark and then his teammate Rhett McBride. We became really good friends, and my teammate Scott Stenzel, Tarasca Stenzel Racing, Yellow Stripes making a driver. Stenzel has a good deal going on there with trying to help drivers make it, development. Zaloop, I know that's Bratcher's sponsor, and that's associate sponsor of mine is also DisabledRacers.com with Aaron Groskopf. They got a good deal going on over there. Check them all out on Facebook. And once again, congrats, Jonathan. That was a great win for you, and happy for you. And see what happens next week at Pocono.
And there you have it from our second place runner here tonight, Kyle Tarasca. I think Joe's caught up with third place, our points leader, Eric Brundies.
Eric Brundies coming out of the Monster Mile with the points lead. But Eric, you got to be disappointed that it ended up being third and not first.
Oh, yeah, I knew the tires were going to go away at the end, but, with all the yellows that we had, I just decided to go for it and hopefully get a yellow, and then we get fresh tires, and then we'd be able to just hot lap it to the end. But it didn't go that way, but I don't know, it's nice getting all these top fives, I guess, even though points are all gonna reset for the chase. But I don't know. It was a good run anyway.
Definitely a good run where you were playing a little bit of conservation there towards the end. How nerve-wracking was it for you to be playing conservation knowing that Kyle Tarasca and ultimately Jonathan Cadell were coming after you?
I wasn't conserving anything. My tires were just melting to the ground. But no, I considered pitting and trying to make up time that way, but I don't think Jonathan fell off enough to where I could have caught him with fresh tires, so it didn't really matter. I needed a yellow and didn't get one, but I don't know, pretty happy with third anyway.
From one trouble track to another, tonight you finish out the Monster Mile. Next week you go to the Tricky Triangle at Pocono. Let me ask you this: knowing that you've got two of the most difficult tracks, one behind you, one ahead of you, how do you plan on maintaining your points lead through this very difficult, tricky stretch here?
Oh, actually, the more difficult the track, the better I seem to run. it's nice to get away from all the 1.5 milers. You know, get to some tracks where you got to really control the car through brake and throttle control. So it's really nice. I really welcome the tricky tracks. So I'm definitely ready to go to Pocono.
We'll certainly look for you to have a good run there next week here on LSR TV. Before I let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to give? Anyone you'd like to thank? The microphone's all yours, my friend.
Oh, I just want to thank my teammates for setting with me, and I'd like to thank you guys for a good broadcast, and I'd like to congratulate Jonathan for his first Full Throttle Cup win. So that's really cool to see that. So yeah, thanks.
Eric Brundy, your points leader, finishing third here tonight. Congratulations on the podium finish, and we'll see you next week at Pocono.
All right, thanks.
Jacob, what a crazy race we saw out here tonight. 9 caution flags, nearly 30, just over 35 laps run under caution, just to end with a crazy run by Jonathan Goodell to finish it. Jacob, what a great race, what a crazy race, but it was certainly a lot of fun to see RSR doing what they do best.
Yeah, it was a great race there. Once we got the green flag running going, the guys in the back made their runs to the front. Jonathan Goodell saved his tires however he did it, whether it was not using brakes, whether it was letting off at certain points, not hitting the throttle so hard. He was a magician behind the wheel, and he mastered what was given to him, chasing down the leaders. It was nice to see a green run. It was nice to see some courtesy by people, and these guys have it in line for a great series, and I can't wait to tune in and watch some more races from the past and the future and everything through LSR TV. And again, congratulations for Jonathan Goodell. I'm flabbergasted what he did, and now he's going up to my home track. Couple miles actually from my house, Pocono Raceway to Tricky Triangle. Hopefully they wave to me as they're going through turn 1 on their base laps, and best of luck next week to them.
Be sure to join Evan Pizzoco and the crew 9:30 p.m. next week here on LSR TV as our Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking takes to the Tricky Triangle, 70 laps around the technically super speedway at Pocono, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific here on LSR TV. That'll do it for our broadcast. I want to thank the Real Sim Racing and the Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking for having us out of the track tonight, and we certainly look forward to seeing what these guys can do in 1 week's time when they take it to the rolling hills of Pennsylvania, the Pocono Hills of Pennsylvania, where they go 70 laps around the big triangle at the Pocono 175, presented by RealSimRacing.com and Gary Mercer Trucking. On behalf of our entire broadcast crew, my partner in crime, Jacob Nye, our executive producer and camera operator, Laura Lawson, I am Joe Cortez. We'll see you next time here on LSR TV with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking. Good night, everybody.